Hey everyone, Complex back with another video, and today we're back to talking about Anthem with the season of Icetide having recently released. We are in free play talking about, well, all the things that you can do in free play right now. Not to mention, the Bastion is just a beautiful winter wonderland. If you haven't hopped in and just kind of roamed around and enjoyed all of the snow and just kind of decorations either in Fort Tarsis or kind of outside the Bastion, I'd highly suggest doing it because it looks utterly stunning. But with the Icetide having dropped, like I had mentioned, there's a few different things to do in free play, including collecting a bunch of different wreaths for a scavenger hunt. There is Javelin Racing, which is also called Time Trials. And then there is a new free play event. So today I want to walk you through just the basics of everything that is available, and let's just dive on into it. So up first, we're going to talk about the free play event. The free play event is called Ice Flower Frenzy, and it's to help the Arcanists harvest coolant. There are a few different spots that it'll spawn around the map, and if you open up your map and take a peek inside, you will see the radio beacon almost symbol that we've had for previous alerts, and you can just mark it that way and head over to it. But as you can see, it looks like a great big snow globe, and that's kind of what it is. It's got a beautiful effect inside, but that's how you know you've landed in the right spot for the event. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to have to pick up 5 different coolants in order to stabilize the bigger machine that is a little bit off to the side. Now, when you pick up these coolants, it is important to note that you only have a few seconds to drop it off, and you can't run and you can't strafe, nothing like that. It's literally just a slow walk, similar to what we had when we were doing a Season of Skull and you had the torch on your back. It's just like that, except it almost feels like you move a tiny bit slower. Now, when each of the coolant stabilizers drop and you place it into the machine, there is a little bit of a break in between the next one spawning in, and there are just a few different spots that they will spawn in. You can kind of see it, that little, I don't want to call it a sculpture, but it kind of looks like a little bit of a sculpture, but in between that you will get just some like brutes and stuff like that to kill. And then once all of these stabilizers have been placed, then the next part of the event will start, which is basically just to defeat a whole bunch of outlaw. You'll get outlaws, and then after you defeat so many, it will then add on to what you have to do, which is to defeat all the outlaw plus a few different outlaw bosses, and they will spawn in different waves, I had noticed. So we got 2, and then there was just outlaw to kill, and then we got another few, and it kind of rinses and repeats until it is done, and you have to do it within the allotted time for the event timer. It was actually a really quick event to do, and I liked how we didn't have to go in to any different location or spawn in anywhere like we've had to do in the past. So this is fantastic. Can totally be done solo if you're just in the free play event by yourself. So something to definitely keep in mind, and would bear a rinse and repeat, especially because there are a lot of challenges that that are hooked into either outlaw kills or just doing so many of these a week. Now up next, we've got the Javelin Races or Time Trials. You'll notice them on your map as they are the purple little stopwatch symbols. There are 8 of them total in a free play, and you can start them pretty much at any time. When you land on the platform, you will notice that you can interact to accept a trial, and that will give you a minute countdown. It's actually really fun and can reward loot at the end once you complete the race, even if you don't get gold. It's really, honestly, I'm having a blast doing these. I know a lot of other people are. Now, there is also a little console at the back, and you can just see what your best times are for each of your javelins. So that's not like player base wide or anything like that. That is literally just your trials time. So then that way you can keep trying to beat your best score. Now, once the race officially starts, you will notice that there are those little kind of like ice bluey greeny, they're very bright orbs. You just run over those. They don't disappear. You just run over them, and that will completely cool you down, which is pretty awesome. And then you're basically just going to follow these circle disc things that you have to go through. We've seen that in missions before, so just make sure that you're following the course. It's probably going to take you a couple times to learn each of the tracks. If you mess up, don't worry, you can always backtrack and go straight through it again. And then the other thing to note is that in various parts they'll randomly spawn in. You will get those kind of like electricity bubbles that will overheat you very quickly, so just make sure that you are either being very careful and flying around them or making sure you're keeping yourself cool at all times. And then once you hit the end, You do come up to a finish line, which is actually really cool. And then you kind of get this explosion of fireworks, which I am obsessed with. There's a chest at the end. I got a Lego. I officially love these. And then I did check my time on the console at the end just to see what it was. And as a note, this is only showing the time for this particular race. If you do a different one of the time trials, it will show you for that particular one. Now, last but not least, we have the wreaths. There are 10 wreaths that you need to find per a zone in the bastion. And as you can see, that wreath is actually already pre-lit. So it does keep track of the ones that you have found within the bastion itself, which is really nice. That way you're not accidentally interacting with ones that you've already found. There is a challenge that is found in your challenges section where you can see how many you found for each of the areas. So in that way, if you're having any trouble, you can easily find out what you need to do to complete it. Now, another thing to note is that on your compass, these will actually show as question marks similar to any other collectible in the game. So if you kind of see a question mark floating around, I would go and investigate just in case that is a wreath. Now, once you interact with it, it will light up so you know that that has been counted. And you also get Champion of Tarsus points, which is super nice. So this is not only helping you get some pretty awesome stuff as far as just challenge rewards go, but it is also applying to the Champion of Tarsus. But y'all, to recap what we learned today, you've got in free play right now a beautiful snowy bastion. You've got a time trial / javelin races. You've got wreaths to collect and a new free play event to grind out in order to complete certain challenges. Make sure you are checking out the challenges tab, by the way, in your journal. So then that way you know exactly what you do need to complete in order to get everything. And one of those things that is available as a challenge reward right now is a armor set for each of your javelins, similar to what we got for Season of Skulls, but it is actually a beautiful one, hopefully for the winter season. Y'all, thank you so much for joining me, though. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below or find me on Twitch. I do stream Anthem at least once a week and always happy to help when and where I can. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night and or day, depending on where you are in the world, and I will catch you next time. Bye, guys.